This is Pride Mobility's newest release scooter. This is called the Pride Mobility Baja Bandit. This is the SKU number BA140. This particular unit is like nothing else on the market currently. It is going to come in two different colors. This is called Sage. It's like a teal type color. And they're also going to have more like what they have on the Wrangler. It's like a tan, desert sand type color. So what makes this unit unique, unlike anything else, and I'll get farther details into it, it's going to have suspension on the actual seat post, front and rear suspension, lithium battery pack, 8 miles an hour top end speed, and be able to travel at a distance that adds somebody up to 400 pounds at almost 23 miles on a charge if you had the dual battery packs. So once again, just want to give the generic specs, and then we'll really start to break this unit down more. So the overall length of this unit is, they say it's a little over 49 inches, and that's going to be from the front bumper to the rear bumper. Now the specs online say 27 inches and some change. I'm going to actually put my tape measure on it right here. With the standard seat, how it is right now, widest point on the armrest, and this is with the standard 18-inch seat. Now you can get an upgraded seat, so that might make it a little bit wider. With the standard seat, your overall armrest length is 25.5 inches. Obviously, your wheelbase is going to be less than that. You're going to be at about 22 inches, give or take, at the wheelbase. What makes this unit also great is this has the E-Mark, which is a German technology, but also it translates to the DOT headlights. This is automotive headlights on this unit. I've not seen anything else on the market that has headlights like this. I'm not joking. It is really far of the distance that you can see on this. And we're actually going to show that in a video overlay in a darker room so you can really see how well this lights up. But you trust me, nothing else out there like that has headlights like this. So you also do have turn signals left and right, and you have the lights in the back. So if you do have your hazard lights on, you can see they're flashing all the way around. So the range on this unit, as somebody at 400 pounds, they say 11.25 miles. Let's round down and say 11 miles. Now you can put a dual battery in here, and the great part about this unit is if you did buy it with a single battery pack, you are able to also buy another single battery and put them in a series in there, lithium. You don't have to buy the bigger battery pack like you might have to on a travel scooter. You have either or. You can buy an extra single battery, stick it in there, and then you have the dual capability. So just imagine if you do dual battery it, your specs are going to be doubled. So at 11 miles of somebody at 400 pounds, let's say it's a little up to 22 miles. If you have the dual battery, the single battery is 14.5 miles at somebody at 220 pounds. So double that, up to 29 miles on a full charge. So that's pretty crazy what you're going to get distance-wise on a scooter like this. One thing that is really, really awesome that I mentioned earlier is on this seat post there's a spring, similar like what they have in 18-wheelers. So not only do you have front and rear shocks, you have a shock built into the seat post. We will have another video that shows you how to change that. But what they recommend is anybody 190 pounds or so and above, stay with the shock that is currently in here. Now I'm telling you, I sat on this unit, I sat down, I mean I can feel that shock. It's going to make this ride super, super comfortable. So anybody under 190 pounds, they do provide you with the lightweight shock that's in your owner's manual. It's a lightweight shock, so you just take the bolt out, drop this in. They send you a pack of grease. If you lose this grease, you can use any marine grade lubricant. Basically you want to put a little grease on the outside so you don't have this shock kind of rubbing metal on metal. Might create a little bit of sound, but they do provide a packet of grease, so when you open up your owner's manual you will see this blue packet. That is grease for the shock if you're going to change it. If you do change it and you are over that weight capacity, it's not anything wrong, but you're going to feel it bottom out. So you will feel that seat drop and hit the bottom. Now you still have your other suspension, but do remember you do want to kind of keep it within that range. This unit here is different than a lot of other units. A lot of other units you almost have like a teeter-totter type throttle. This is different. Here you have a built-in handbrake on the right side, and over here the throttle is basically forward and left with your index finger to drive it. So it's really only one hand that you need instead of two hands to be able to drive the unit. We're also going to show you another video too that's going to show you how you open up this box and you can flip this and invert it. So if you want the brake handle on the right hand side and the driving capability on the left hand side, all of that is possible. This unit is going to get up to 8 miles an hour on top end speed. And on this display you do have an eco, which is going to scale it down probably about 50%, or you're going to have your full speed. So a lot of times when they show that full total distance, it's not at 8 miles an hour on non-paved surfaces. A lot of times it's going to be on smooth surfaces, not going the full speed to really get that distance, and not a ton of stopping and going. But Pride does test their stuff way better than anybody else on the market, so I can say when they run their specs, it's a lot more accurate than what you might see from other manufacturers. On this display, you're going to have your battery gauge, and you're also going to have your speed controls. This particular unit, another great feature that they also incorporated, which is new that I haven't seen on any other units, is how do you adjust this tiller. So we'll show you in a video overlay, but there's actually a gold handle right here that you can push. If you're able to lift your foot, you can actually even do that with your foot. You're not going to hurt anything. If you can lift your foot up, you can push that, adjust the tiller towards you. Otherwise, you just push it. So no longer are you having to reach over and twist the adjustment knob on the side. Now it's all with this gold handle here. Super easy. There's not really much tension at all in there to adjust the angle of the tiller. It does have plenty of floorboard space. I wear a size 12 shoe, and I still probably have about 2 inches left of space, so I'm going to go ahead and give you that measurement that a lot of times they don't give you. So the overall floorboard space that you're going to have is going to be 14 inches. So you have 14 inches of usable space if you want to keep your feet bent at a 90-degree angle. They do build these pretty well. I wouldn't say stand on this or push all your weight off of it, but if you need to rest your feet here, that's not a problem at all. Like I said, make sure you're not kind of pushing on the lights. Only time will tell how well those hold up right there, but even the turn signals are also DOT approved. So nothing else really out there like that that has the DOT approval on the headlights. So you do have the left and right turn signals, and in the middle over here you do have a horn. So the horn's nothing fancy, nothing crazy. It's kind of like what you're going to hear on a lot of other scooters. On this tiller, you do have 2 knobs that are 2 little plastic inserts that you can remove, and you can put a cell phone holder here. You can put rear view mirrors on the unit, so that is what those are for. This unit, the seat does flip up, or the armrests, excuse me, do flip up on either side, so if you need to transfer in, that you can. And on the standard seat that comes with it, you have a slider. So it does slide forward and back about 3 or 4 inches. And then over here, on the right-hand side, you have the swivel handle. So if you do want to swivel and get out from the side, you can swivel that. You can probably even swivel it all the way around if you wanted. As long as your tiller is up and out of the way, you should be able to swivel this all the way to the back. So if you want to back up to something and swivel your chair around, you are able to do that. So this unit does break apart, and I will show you that here in a few minutes. Now the heaviest piece is 71 pounds. So if you are buying this, trying to transport it, remember your heaviest piece is going to be 71 pounds. Rear section is just under 55 pounds, but 71 is what you're going to need to know. This unit, like I said, front bumper, rear bumper, and even a bumper guard on the side. So they really kind of designed this to be a little more rugged, a little more outside, take a little more of a beating on this type of particular unit here. You do have 9-inch tires all the way around, front and rear. They are solid tires, and you actually will see how you have the color inserts on there to make it look a little more sharp. Turning radius is 53 inches. So having a scooter of this size, 53-inch turning radius is still a pretty good turning radius, so you can see how those tires will turn decently sharp for a 4-wheel scooter. On this unit here, you do have a battery pack. They do recommend that when you are not using the scooter, to turn it in the off position. That is you'll see on this little toggle switch, you have a circle and you have a line. If the circle's pushed down, that means you killed all the power to the battery. Do remember, if you want to charge this or use it, and especially when you hear the charging, if you want to charge the unit, make sure you are pushed it to the right with the little line pushed down. That is what's going to allow the battery to charge and actually turn the unit on. Right behind that switch, you have a relay fuse. So if for some reason you got this thing stuck somewhere, spinning tires, instead of overheating the motor, what it's going to do is going to pop that relay fuse. So you'll see that in a video overlay. That's the first thing you would check if all of a sudden you got stuck and the power turned off. Go push this down. If you feel it click in and your power comes back on, that is what your issue was with this unit. Now this unit here has a 600-watt motor. So in comparison, the Revo, which was kind of a similar unit to this before with a lot less speed and power and everything else, was a 400-watt. This is a 600-watt motor on the back of the scooter here. So it is just one motor in the back. On this particular unit, you will be able to put this thing in freewheel. We do recommend turning the power off. It creates less resistance on the motor. But back here in the back of the unit, if you push this lever forward, now you're in freewheel. So if you ever do need to push this thing around, you can put it in freewheel here. Right here in the back, I actually see where this bumper attaches. It looks like there's a threaded screw that goes through there. I'm going to look at that in later videos, and I'm going to see if you take that screw out. This might be adjustable, this bumper farther back, and that could hold some purposes depending on how far it comes back. Maybe you could have something that you could store back here. I don't know. We will check that out. On the back of all of Pride seats nowadays are going to have a rear docking device. This one's kind of hidden up underneath the scooter, but you can put in here a rear basket, walker holder, cane holder, plenty of other attachments that they have. The armrests are adjustable in and out on this unit as well. So if you do want to stay with this size seat because you want to keep it somewhat narrow, but you feel like you need a little more room in between the armrests, you can twist these knobs, move your armrests out, and then retighten the knobs. Overall ground clearance of the motor is about 1.5 inches. Now you got to remember that is a 1.5 inches, but if you're driving over terrain outside, it's going to keep you at that same distance off the ground while driving, because you're going to drive over it. So the only time you're going to run into an issue is if you were to hit a tree stump that was cut, that was 3 inches high, head on. Well, yes, you would hit the motor, but going over hills, going over thresholds, going over things, that's not going to be a problem. Obviously, your deck height's going to be higher up off the ground, but everybody wants to know what's the lowest point. And Pride is actually very accurate with this. They don't play games. They get you the lowest point. A lot of other companies only will tell you deck height, which might be 3-4 inches. On other units, but it might be even lower at the motor. So you do want to make sure you do ask those questions if you're trying to look at a different product. Seat to ground height on this unit, or I'm sorry, seat to floorboard height is about 18 inches. That's how it's going to come standard out of the box. If you were measured seat to ground height, let's say you're doing board transfers or something else, trying to transfer to your vehicle, you're about 25 inches top of the seat to the actual ground. It's going to be pretty standard in this market. This unit here with the single battery in it is going to be about 183 pounds when it's fully assembled like this, not broken down. This unit would be 197 when you put the dual battery in there. So if you need to put this on the back of a vehicle, whether you're trying to get a Harmar lift or something else for the back, just know it's going to be either 183 with the single battery or 197 with the dual battery. So what makes great about lithium is not only the charging with the smart charge, it charges faster. They're actually going to give you a 3-year warranty on the lithium battery as well. Now that's as long as there's not neglect to the battery. I have a 3-year warranty. The drivetrain, the electronics are a 2-year warranty. So it's a pretty commonly asked question. What's the warranty on these units? 3 years batteries, 2 years electronics and drivetrain. Now we have been to Pride. We've seen how they test it. Pride goes far well above and beyond what you need to test these units. What's the requirements in this industry? They at least double it. So I wouldn't say water resistant because I don't want people leaving it out in the rain, but just know Pride does do crazy more due diligence than everybody else does in this industry to make sure you're going to have a safe product that's going to sustain you for a long period of time. One thing also underneath here, built in right here, is going to be a USB port. So like I talked about before, you could put a cell phone holder right here, run it and charge it off of the unit. While using the unit, you can charge your cell phone. So now what I'm going to show you here now is how this unit comes apart. So what you would do with this type of seat, you would stand over, you'd push the seat down forward, you're going to stand over the unit. You want to kind of bend over and you want to lift straight up in the air. So if you're pulling back, it's not going to come up, so you have to lift and straight up, and the seat will lift right off that seat post. From here, you have your battery pack with a handle with this nice strap. Lift up. It does it when they are new. It's going to have a little bit of tension to get it up, but this will come right off on the unit. Set this off to the side. From here, your front basket, this just lifts right off. Set this off to the side. What I would do here is I would lower this tiller back down, push that forward, this gold handle, lower the tiller down, and then I would probably lock the front wheel. So you can lock these wheels so that it's not your tiller's not doing this when you're either breaking it apart or transporting it. You do want your tiller to be in line pretty straight, and then you're going to push this knob and turn it clockwise. That's going to lock your wheel out. Do remember to unlock it, otherwise it will take you a long time to turn into a circle. But it will help in this next step here. So the next step, you're actually going to lift on this handle right here, which is universal on the Revo and a couple other models. You're going to lift up on this handle, and then you're going to walk the front section away. So this is what you're going to be looking at pieces wise. That's 71 pounds. This is a little bit under 55 pounds. If I had to guess, the seat's probably 25, 30 pounds, and that battery pack's less than 20 pounds with a single battery in it. So these are going to be the pieces that you're going to need when you're going to break it apart. To put it back together on this unit, if you've ever seen a Revo before, this is a very similar look to a Revo. So on some of the older models, there's a few issues with pins getting bent if somebody didn't properly put the unit back together. They have started to come out now with quick disconnects back here, so instead of having to replace the whole motor, you can just replace the little harness with the pins. So that's a great thing that Pride's listened to from the end user, and they have made that change. Now when you want to go ahead and put this thing back together, you are going to see you have two upside down U-shaped brackets here, and then it's going to go right onto this tube. So you don't want to force it. It should just snap right in place. So you do want to kind of bring it on straight. If you are at an angle, straighten the front section back out, because all you should have to do is lift from right here, put the two U-shaped brackets on, put it back together, and give it a little slight push, and then you will snap back together. If you're nervous about it, you can pull it apart, see if it wants to come apart, but once it snaps in, you are ready to go. From here, push your gold handle, lift it up. I like to do the unlocking of the wheel at this step so I don't forget it. Push that knob in, turn it counterclockwise. Now your wheels will rotate again. Take your battery pack. Like I said, if you have one battery in, you will feel how the weight is only on one side. So it will feel a little bit off-centered, so you might want to grab it with two hands. Take your battery pack, drop it right on. I believe you can also grab right from here. That's a pretty sturdy handles on both sides if you want to grab from there. Take your seat, align it right back onto the seat post. That will drop down, lock in place, and then you're going to take your front basket and you're going to drop this back on the unit. The unit does come with a lithium charger, so it will specifically say 4 amp lithium battery charger with a green sticker on it. Do not use any other charger besides this charger on the unit. If you do, and you use a different deep cycle type charger, you can ruin the batteries and that would void your warranty. So make sure you are using the charger that does come with this particular unit here. We're gonna go ahead and take this Baja Bandit outside and see how it performs in non-paved surfaces. I wanna kind of see the power. So follow us outside and we'll see it. This is the Pride Baja Bandit. This is a 4-wheel scooter, 400-pound capacity, 8 miles an hour, lithium batteries. This unit's going to get up to 29 miles on a full charge, something about 200 pounds. It's got a 600-watt motor, so it's got plenty of power. It's lightweight, it's rugged, it's got a suspension in the seat post. So I don't know if you can see when I sit down, you can actually see the seat post flexing. So there's a spring in there that can be changed depending on the user's weight, which you also have, like on the Revo, a front and a rear suspension as well. So super comfortable, 600 watts of power, tons of power. We're going to go ahead and we're going to drive this in here in the grass and just really get to test this out and see what it's capable of. But I can tell you, it's at a 53-inch turning radius. So I was driving it around inside a minute ago and I was really surprised, for being a 4-wheel scooter at almost 50 inches long, how well this unit actually turns. So now this is light, under 200 pounds, even with dual batteries in the unit. So it's really just going to be a game changer on the market for a lot of people. Does break apart. 71 pounds is the heaviest piece in the front section. I'm going to go ahead and go up in the grass, see how it tracks, and then we're going to go over on the other side and go through a ditch and really see how this thing performs. Power-wise, no hesitation. Now I can tell you that if you turn it sharp, you can pull a wheel up off the ground. I mean, you're not going to flip, but you'll feel it, how it won't track if both wheels are not on the ground. But overall power and acceleration, I mean, this thing flies. So, I mean, and I can really tell you, as compared to a Revo in this terrain and other stuff, I mean, this is so comfortable riding on this. It really does. You do notice that suspension in the seat. It feels like you're on air. I mean, this is going to be great. Now, I did mention earlier in the video, these do have DOT approved headlights and tail lights. I mean, super bright, like nothing else on the market, like what this unit has. So now follow me over here, and we're going to shoot a video over here, kind of going through a ditch, and I really want to kind of show you kind of the terrain this is going to travel through. Take this unit over here. This is a ditch. This spot always gets wet. It's actually some pretty crazy uneven terrain. I mean, you can see those stumps. I mean, this thing, no problem flying over that stuff. I mean, right here, it's a couple-inch gap, couple-inch lip. You can see it fly right over that. If I bring it back down, I mean, you can see the stability in this. This is a good couple-foot climb right here over tree roots. I mean, that thing had no problem at all getting over that. Not a lot of other small compact scooters are going to be able to do what this thing does on the market. I really do believe Pride is innovative like nobody else on this market. If you have any questions on this scooter, give us a call. We'll be glad to talk to you.
Hi, I'm Mark.
And my name is Alex. We're co-owners of Marc's Mobility.
I started this company in 1995.
We sell many products, not just what you see in this video. If you have any questions or concerns, please call us at the number below at 800-677-6293. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.